Vancouver, where the mountains meet the sea.
Vancouver se classe au premier rang mondial en matière de qualité de vie.
Future host of the 2010 Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games. Vancouver, home to more than 550,000 residents and 70 languages, in a region of over 2 million people. Enjoy distinctive West Coast hospitality.
Sur la côte ouest du Canada, blottie entre les pics de montagne et l'océan Pacifique, gît 113 km² d'enthousiasme. Vous pouvez faire du ski alpin et de la voile dans la même journée.
A cosmopolitan mix of culture, culinary delights, fresh air, and walks along the seawall that go on and on and on. This is our city. Make it yours.
citizens exist in Canada? The answer is zero. Nada. Zilch. None. All Canadians are insured. In Canada, good quality, universally accessible medical care is regarded as a basic element of being Canadian.
I think what most Americans need to understand about Canadian healthcare is that in Canada, every citizen is fully covered, fully insured for all medically necessary doctor and hospital services.
It is $1 per international unit, and on his size right now, each dosage is 265 international units. So each dose is $265. When he's older, he'll be in thousands for his body weight, so each dosage will be thousands of dollars.
Well, first of all, the Canadian healthcare system is not a socialist system. It's not a communist system. Our healthcare is paid for by the government, but it's delivered by private entrepreneurs, physicians, physical therapists, nurses across the country who, may be paid by the government but don't answer to government for what we do. I don't have to ask the government for permission to order a test on my patient. I don't have to ask the government for permission to admit my patient to a hospital. If my patient needs something that I deem is medically necessary, it's covered by the insurance plan, period. I don't waste my time justifying that to insurance companies, and I don't waste my time justifying that to the public. I get to spend my time providing clinical care to my patients. I have to say that I really feel for Americans who worry about the possibility of developing a catastrophic illness and what that might do to their families financially. And my understanding is that many people, when they get seriously sick, lose their employment and therefore they lose their insurance. And I'm very grateful to live in a country where there's no link between employment and insurance, so that when my patients get seriously sick, they don't have to worry about bankruptcy, they don't have to worry about how they're going to pay for their medical bills. And I think that that's fundamentally one of the greatest strengths of the Canadian healthcare system is that when people become catastrophically ill, by and large the system responds rapidly, it responds appropriately, and people never have to worry, ever, about how they're going to pay for their hospital bill at the end of the day.
My name is Andy Pressel. I'm a journeyman carpenter. I've been in the field now for close to 20 years. We deal primarily with wood framing, which means framing in various components of the house or a new house right from ground up. On this particular job, we will be relocating the kitchen. So relocating the kitchen involves a bit of demolition work, which is about a day or two. So we will start by removing drywall, insulation, and a few other walls. So as time progresses, we will be removing the kitchen cabinets and the flooring. And then in about a week's time, we'll have new flooring going down with cabinets being ordered for about 2 weeks from now. The crew size I work with is they are employed by me. Generally, it ranges from 2 to 4 people, including myself. In carpentry, we get to be creative. We get to stand back at what we did and say, yes, that does look good. We did a good job on that one, and we move on to the next one. We get to move around throughout the city. We get to work inside. We get to work outside. The downside, completing a job on time and on budget. Working in the rain sometimes is not that nice. Other downsides, I don't think there are any. It really depends on your own personal perspective of that. Motivation to go into carpentry. It probably started, I think, maybe in childhood. I don't know. We get to build things. We get to work with a hammer. It's always been a great pleasure to build something, look back and say, hey, that turned out pretty good.
In general, Canada is a very safe place to live and work, but some people will try to take advantage of newcomers. For example, avoid agencies that attempt to charge you large sums of money to help you immigrate to Canada with promises of work. Canada does not tolerate slavery, child labor, or oppressive working conditions. Always work through official government agencies when seeking to move to Canada. When you arrive in Canada, make sure you are legally entitled to work before you accept a job. Some employers may offer work to immigrants who are not yet legally allowed to work, but they may pay very low wages or offer no benefits or job security, and sometimes they may simply refuse to pay. Beware of people who offer to pay you under the table. It is legal to receive payment in cash, but all income must be reported to the Canada Revenue Agency when you submit your annual income tax forms. Many private training and educational companies offer services to newcomers in Canada, and some of them can be dishonest. Make sure you check these services carefully in advance before paying tuition or other fees.
Being a nurse can be a pretty stressful job sometimes. One of the great things about getting out and having the mountains and the outdoors right here is that I can just get away from it all. I can go out in the mountains and play. My name is Sarah. I'm a recovery room nurse on Vancouver Island, BC, and I love living there because I can work and play in the same place. Vancouver Island is just off the coast of BC. One of the great things about working in healthcare is the amount of flexibility that it gives you to work wherever you'd like to work, and working in BC is a fantastic opportunity. I'd say moving back to BC was an easy decision for us. It was important to us that we wanted to work to live, not live to work. In probably 6 minutes of me getting off work, I can be trail running around a beautiful lake. I can be on spider web of trails. And then probably within 15 more minutes, I can be back on my patio or on our deck, sitting with a drink, looking at the water.
Hi, I'm Ivoya. I am a psychiatric nurse that works and lives in Fort St. John. I went to Health Match being directed by another colleague, and they really took into consideration my views of what I want to do. I wanted to do community nursing, and I wanted to experience rural nursing, so they helped me get the job.
Hi, I'm Denise Uesigi. I'm a registered nurse at Lions Gate Hospital in North Vancouver, and one of my favorite things to do is head out on my mountain bike with my boyfriend. As a nurse is that I can combine work and play in the same day. After a shift I can get out and still have time to go for a ride or a run or whatever you want to do. I would describe this place as beautiful. It's breathtaking. I love BC because there's such a huge diversity of recreational opportunities and natural beauty. No matter what you're into as far as outdoors activities, there's pretty much everything that you could want to do here.
Hi, Ada James.
Hi, sir.
I'm John Smith, and Assistant Director here at the college. And it's a real joy for me today to be having a talk with you about your experience not only as a student at RCIT, but also as a new employed nurse in Canada.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to start out a little bit with maybe some background.
Yes, sure.
When you, how did you hear about RCIT, Royal Canadian Institute of Technology?
By newspaper, by media. When I was in Kerala, at that time I came to know about this RCIT and this RN preparation course from media. Then I contacted one agent in Kerala, and with that agent I made all the arrangements to come here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you find was the admission process easy?
Yeah, it was very easy.
Miss Keiko?
Yeah, she helped a lot for doing all the procedures.
And when you came, it's a new country?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
Had you never been?
No.
Okay.
This is the first time I was out of India.
Okay. And how did you, so RCIT had big open arms? How did things go?
Yeah, I felt so because from the first day itself, the Michael Kansa and the John Smith sir, all the administrators from RCIT came to our class, and they welcomed us, and they given all the explanation to this program, this country, and they helped us a lot for adjusting this to new situation.
So you got settled in a little bit, and it was nice working with the other students?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Classrooms were nice?
Classrooms were very nice, and our instructors, they were very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, because there is a vast difference from the Indian teaching and the Canadian teaching. In Canada, most of them in psychosocial aspect. So our instructors really help us to get a psychosocial aspect in our all the subjects, and they help us to how to do the questions. Yeah, because in CRNE, because we are doing the CRNE preparation course.
Yes, yes.
In CRNE, the most important thing is we have to get a trick to how to get the answers. So they helped us a lot for choosing the right answer from the 4 options. Yeah.
So critical thinking?
Yeah, critical thinking. Of course, yeah. The critical thinking is very important part in this nursing in Canada. Yeah.
Yes. And do you think that makes you a better nurse now?
Really?
Now that you see the difference between being a nurse in India and being a nurse in Canada?
I can tell that this RCT preparation program really helped me a lot.
Okay.
And I can tell that all of my friends also get more.
They liked it as well.
Yeah, they liked it.
Okay. And how did you find? I know for a fact that your attendance was excellent. Many of the students have told me that part of the reason for their success, both with our program and with the CRNE exam, was because they attended all the classes.
Yeah, sure.
Did you find that?
Yeah, sure, because we were quite new in this Canadian experience and the Canadian care. So in our classroom, all the instructors were really helped to get an overview idea about the care. If we are absent in that class, how we will get that idea?
Yes.
Really.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
And also the CRNE preparation boot camps. That really helped us.
The intensives.
Yeah, really. Intensive course. Yeah.
Yes.
All the instructors were very helpful. Yeah, they are really giving very much helping. Yeah,
And
helping on that,
and the labs.
And the labs also.
The labs.
Yeah. The well-equipped labs,
Yes.
We got facility to do, we got a well-equipped lab, especially in the case of maternity. Yeah, then the nursing in Canada, the skills.
Yes. So you were able to see the most modern equipment
that
most
they're
modern
using
now.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Some of our students, some students from our class who underwent the SEC exam in British Columbia or Nova Scotia, and they told that because in the SEC exam they will get many more equipments.
Yes.
Yeah. And they said that during our SEC preparation course, they got experience with all the equipments.
And
because of that, they didn't get any difficult there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we thought a lot about how we were going to make this the best program possible for our students. And so when we decided to do the SEC and make... Rakesh.
Yes.
John Smith, Assistant Administrator. Good news ringing through the halls of RCIT. You from Cohort A.
Yeah.
We hear you've passed the CRNE.
Yes. Last October.
Last October. And an LMO.
Yeah, I got that. It's for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And you have employment.
Yeah, I have an offer from Quebec, Saskatchewan.
And when do you start?
Most probably I'm going to start by next week.
Okay. And acute care, community?
Yeah, it's an acute care. I have an experience in acute care. That's why I got a job in that area.
Okay, okay. And they're paying you a relocation fee?
Yeah, it's $5,000.
Very generous.
Yes.
And $35 an hour plus benefits?
Yeah, it's $35 plus benefits.
Okay, this is the end of your goal. This is the end of your walk that you started in India when you first put your admission papers into RCIT. Let's go back just a little bit to the beginning of that journey.
Yes.
How was it in the beginning? How did you find it? The atmosphere?
Yeah, I could say it was a wonderful experience with RCIT. And I can say that with hard work and the wonderful support that we are getting from RCIT, anybody can succeed. I believe that, and I can recommend RCIT for my friends.
So does that mean that you attended your classes?
Yeah, I believe I have more than 90% of attendance. It's very important to attend classes. And the boot camp that you are giving us before the exam is very beneficial.
For the CRE?
For the CRE,
So your experience with instructors and the administration?
Yeah, I could say that faculty is wonderful.
Okay.
Awesome training I am getting from here.
Okay.
And I'm so much thankful for the support of my faculty and the support given by RCIT for my success during the last 1 year.
One of the things that's always concerned me is that when new students come, there is this brief period, or maybe longer, when it's going from one culture to another. Did you find that RCIT softened that blow a little bit, or softened that experience?
Yeah, to a great extent. Here I can see students from different countries, like China, from Korea, India, Japan. So it's totally multicultural, we can get along with every culture pretty easily. Without such a big cultural shock, I can say.
Right. And the atmosphere?
Yeah, atmosphere
like
is
a small college.
Yeah, it's like a small college, and it's well equipped. I can say when nursing is concerned, a well equipped lab is there. That's absolutely brilliant idea to bring such a wonderful lab over here.
Oh, thank you for saying so.
Okay.
Well, listen, I don't want to keep you, but I wish you all the best in your career and hope that you will stay in touch with us.
Okay, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
A Canadian passport is issued to Canadian citizens only and is the only reliable and universally accepted travel and identification document for Canadians who travel abroad. To apply for a Canadian passport, obtain the appropriate passport application form. Forms are available at Canada Post, Passport Canada service locations, or online at www.ppt.gc.ca. There are different forms for adults, children, and those renewing an expired passport. Have passport photos taken. Photos must be taken by a commercial photographer within the last 12 months. Choose a guarantor. A Canadian citizen aged 18 or older who holds a Canadian passport that is valid or has been expired for no more than 1 year and who is accessible to Passport Canada for verification. Choose 2 references. Neither a relative nor your guarantor must have known you for at least 2 years. Fill out the passport application form. Have the guarantor sign the back of one of your photos and the application form. Visit the nearest Passport Canada service location, participating Service Canada Centre, or participating Canada Post Office. Applications can also be submitted by mail to Passport Canada. Submit the following: a completed application form, proof of Canadian citizenship, i.e. a birth certificate, certificate of citizenship, all originals only, Documents to support identity, i.e. a health card or a driver's license. 2 passport photos taken within the last 12 months, 1 signed by a guarantor. Any Canadian passport or travel document issued to you in the last 5 years. Consult the Passport Canada website at www.ppt.gc.ca for a list of acceptable forms of identification, fees, and other important information. If you are renewing a previous passport, the simplified renewal application process allows Canadians to renew their passports without resubmitting proof of Canadian citizenship or supplementary identification and guarantor information. You may use the simplified renewal application process if your most recent passport has been valid for 5 years, was issued in Canada, was issued within the last 6 years, is a regular passport, and has not been damaged and must never have been reported as lost or stolen, has been issued under your current name.
We are in the Distillery District, which is in Toronto, Canada. The site was started in 1832 as a windmill, and it quickly became a distillery. The distillery produced Canadian whiskey. It produced, I think, up to about 2 million gallons a year. It only took a year and a half, but that was about 400 workers working pretty much 24 hours a day. And in 2001, when we opened with 100 different tenants, boutique retailers, restaurants, cafes, art galleries. When people come here, they get to see things they've never seen anywhere in the world. Nobody wants to travel 1,000 miles and see something that they can see in their own community. When you come here, you get a Toronto experience.
Having some nachos with some great friends and company, and going to dig into a beef burger in about 15-20 minutes, hopefully. So come on down. Enjoy yourself. It's a great place to come. Good people, good ambiance, and a lot of fun.
We're just enjoying a good tasting of beer here.
In August 1990, the film industry in Canada took it over. It actually became the largest Hollywood set outside of Hollywood. Movies such as Chicago, Don't Say a Word, The Recruit, Cinderella Man, and many, many more that people would know. If you go to the local microbrewery, which is on site, called the Mill Street Brewery, they're manufacturing beer. You can go to our micro chocolate factory, which is renowned as the best Canadian chocolate shop in the city. We also have a coffee shop here called Balzac's. Again, roasting and grinding on site. There's no franchises down here, so anything you're going to consume down here will be new. They all use local, fresh products. The patios are some of the largest in Toronto, which create great, vibrant experiences in addition to the tasty fare. So when you come to the distillery, you really get a sense of Toronto. Sort of like when you're in Rome, do what the Romans do. If you're going to come to Toronto, you have to come to the distillery.